Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure and you're back with Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, where last time, eventually, it did take a little while, but eventually we managed to get this bus rolling. To where does it roll, I hear you cry? Well, it just rolls pretty much anywhere at the moment, but it is working, and it's working exactly as intended in your collective faces, because it's full of students, and that's basically what I built it for, is to enable people to get to university. Now, whether or not these students are going to university or not, well, that's largely academic. Huh? Hey, I didn't pre-write that, I just made that up. It's largely academic, because they're at least riding on board the bus. I mean, they might just be bunking off school. And, I mean, why wouldn't you? You've got got a beautiful look over it's a lake, I suppose, towards Drayori, or possibly Pahadaz, or Bordaz. Anyway, in today's episode, because I hate myself, I'm going to turn my attention back to the farm, and I'm going to try and make it work, because it's got a really big problem, and I don't know how to fix it. Stay tuned. Right then, here's a quick outline of the situation as it stands right now. We've got our starter set of fields going, and here they are, starter fields going, just like that. But after harvesting, it all turns up back here, where the voltage is doing the hokey-cokey, probably for the usual kind of reasons. And then the grain from here it isn't anymore. It was being exported into this silo that I bulldozed in a fit of, I can probably fix this with one move. I can't fix it with one move. And I'll show you why in a moment. So yes, that's an issue. So at the moment we're just hoarding what grain we have in the farm itself, and hopefully that'll build up a backlog, and we'll recover from that later. Now, what I had assumed, fool that I am, was that from the silo, the connection, forklift connection system would not only grab stuff from the farm, which it did quite willingly, but it would also then funnel it onwards into the warehouse. It didn't do that. It didn't funnel it into the warehouse. No funneling into anything occurred from the silo, thus rendering the silo absolutely useless, of zero benefit whatsoever. No point to it in the slightest, other than hanging on to the grain. And you kind of go, oh well, that's not a problem. We can easily fix that. Except we can't easily fix that. What I thought was, oh, stuff it. I'll just use a couple of trucks and run the trucks to the warehouse. Here's the road for the warehouse. This little bit of road here is the road connection to the warehouse, and I'm not connecting that to anything. That's not going anywhere. Well, the only thing I haven't tried is building some kind of convoluted bridge. I might still try some kind of convoluted bridge. Let's try some kind of convoluted bridge. It's not going to work. Hold on, I'll just use my hotkey. Still not quite used to having hotkeys, Right, so from there, hang on, get rid of that. Where's bulldozer? 0. And get the behind me bulldozer. Right, this goes across here, too sharp a turn, because of course it is, and well, I suppose we'll have to do it like that and try and create a T-junction, which it's not going to want to do. There just isn't enough space. I just haven't got enough space to do it. I was going to try and maybe bridge out over here and do some kind of circular reconnect. No, it's not happening. So basically what this means is that, well, one of several things. Either we move the warehouse, which I'm reluctant to do because I've kind of plumbed in a train line to make use of it already, or we move these. And when I say move, I mean bulldoze them and rebuild them somewhere else, which I'm reluctant to do. For reasons that should be quite obvious, and those reasons are that they were quite expensive to build. Now, it does afford a slightly another slight opportunity, which is that I could just use a train to pick stuff up from this warehouse and drop it off at another one just like down here or something. That could be quite good fun. The only real downside I've got is that I will have to truck stuff from the farm into this warehouse itself. But these two, a distillery, yeah, that's cheap. And then the food factory, yeah, that's incredibly inexpensive as well. They're both their lives are forfeit. So instead of umming and ahhing about it, let's just get on with it. I'm sure there are other ways to solve it, but I'm solving it in my own way. Thanks for nothing there. The opportunity to use forklift trucks. You have proved to be absolutely useless. The other thing that I could have done, of course, was run a forklift track directly from the farm into the warehouse. Can't. Too far. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll prove it. You know, I'll just prove that, you know, I'm not a complete fool. See? No, it's too long. Yeah, as you know, forklift trucks are attached by bungee cord. They can't travel any further than 3.5 feet before they get whipped back again in the opposite direction. Right, let's get rid of some of this footpath. That's good. Leave the dirty brown stains of something went awry here as a mark of shame, testimony to ideas that, while splendid, didn't work. Right, I'd quite like to connect up to an existing junction, but you all know that right angles, you know, they're not really a Soviet thing. Right, that'll do. Put it in there. Right, and then we'll set up a truck to go and do that kind of behaviour. If I can remember where my truck depot is, it's around somewhere, and is it that one? No, that's an open storage site. See, I haven't quite familiarised myself with what the truck purchasing arena looks like yet. That looks plausible though. Right, okay, buy me a truck. I'm going to want, is it an open hole that takes, no it's not, it's a covered truck that takes crops. Right, doesn't need to be too excessive. It's going to be turning around that often that it will get the job done. This Skoda will do the job. Right, you, come here. No, that, clear off. You, come here. I'm going to get this working, and it's going to get working today. There is no tomorrow for this operation, unless I decide that there is. All right, pick up from farm, drop off at warehouse, get to work. Right, that was easy. Okay, right, that's stage one. Now, the one thing that should happen, if this is even close to working, is that we should start to at least feed the livestock, and they will be able to become live. And then the livestock should link to the livestock hall, where we can, they can have a disco, they can have some kind of buffet or other function, or maybe it's just Thursday night Warhammer Club. And then from the hall, they go into the overzealous slaughterhouse, where slaughter will occur. Then it goes into meat storage. And at present, meat storage doesn't do anything at all. Okay. All right. We don't need it to do anything yet because we have no meat. Once it's actually started being stored, then we'll revisit this discussion. So I'm thinking another warehouse over here, because I had that much success with the first one. I figure it's worth doing again. So let's do that, and then I can use a train for no purpose at all other than just to shuffle between the two warehouses. I'll tell you what. Let's put the road on the other side. There's a novel idea. Can't build due to infrastructure. Is the infrastructure in question the train track? I think it is, isn't it? I think it is. Okay, right now before doing that, we're going to need to flatten some terrain. So. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bulldoze a small piece of track off the end of here. And you're going to go, why? And I say, because I'm going to use that as the centre line for flattening out the next bit. There, see? That's in the way. Yes. And that should make the placement of the warehouse and, well, frankly, everything relatively straightforward. I'm going to even flatten out enough to put my factories on there. The only minor concern with that regard is whether I've got enough housing in range for people to reach it on foot. A couple of you said, why not just, get cars going and all of that kind of business, and then you can forget about public transport. No. And that's as much of an answer as I'm going to give you. But no, we'll hold fire on that front, just for the time being. That's probably enough, isn't it? Yeah? Go that way a little bit, because if I have to flatten anything later on, it's going to put up more of a fight. we're going to need to bulldoze these power lines in order to kind of advance further. Right, let's, where are we? Storage, warehousing. Turn the purchase back on. Warehouse. Right, where's the train? The train line's there. So if I move it just about there, then we should be able to wiggle in a way that doesn't require too much wiggling. Is that the way you want to go? Want is a very strong word. Let's do it. Right, your building. Get that hooked up by rail. Get that hooked up. Then you actually have to select rail. What are we doing? This is electrified, isn't it? Okay, right. You onto there. And that worked as well. That's good. Okay, well, 2 things have worked now. That's something, I suppose. Next, we'll stick in a bit of road just so that... Just use the hotkey. Because I'm not used to having the hotkey available. We'll fling that right by the side of this housing estate. And that should provide a nice foot route for people. But it also means that we now actually have a warehouse. Okay. That's good then. Now, I'm definitely not providing enough crops at the moment to service all of the various industries that I'm attempting to service. So further farming will be required. This is more just a case of proving the concept, or at least half proving the concept, or at least going like, here's a concept, and then see what we get. We've got some crops in here now, though, and they are leaving to go to the slaughterhouse, where one would assume, no, this is just a farm, where one would assume that livestock is being produced, which goes into, yeah, we've got livestock happening in the livestock hall, and then in the slaughterhouse itself, we've got meat. This is good too. We've got some in the export store, and then here's the meat storage department. Et voila, we are making meat. So that all actually worked. I know, I'm also somewhat surprised. But it all actually worked. And we could just leave it at that. And we could say, right, declare victory for now. We have one source of profit being made. And it's all working as somewhat originally designed. The other thing that I could do, of course, is I could flip this around so that we've got the road accessible. And the warehouse will still work as before. But I could probably make a slightly shorter connection. Do you need workers? You don't. Right, so frankly I don't care about whether the workers can reach it or not. Right, here comes the truck, and the truck is carrying 5.6 tons of crops. In the farm itself we have no, that's not the farm, that's the wrong farm. The farm itself is 130. You, my friend, are going to need to shake a leg here. Firstly, you're not going to keep up with demand doing what you're doing right now, and secondly, hurry up. Get a wriggle on. Maybe the silo wasn't such a terrible idea after all. We could put the silo back in, because that will mean we can then hold more crops. And this chap's journey is going to be shorter. I might put the silo back in. Yeah, I'm going to put the silo back in. Actually, what's the route that you have to take? Yeah, you've got to go all the way around here and then back in there. I'm going to put the silo back in, which meant that I deleted the one thing that was actually going to be useful to me. Well, that happened. What did you just remove? You got rid of the road. Well, that was bold. Yeah, I just wanted to get rid of the footpath. No. No, 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 no. No, are you flipping? Just fussy game. Right, come here. That's it. Right, that's okay. Look, just occasionally one becomes uncalm when things don't go exactly as they should. In the way that, if it was designed by someone who wasn't clinically insane. Right, let's do that. You are going to bulldoze the warehouse then? Yeah, I think I am. All right, okay. Well, look, see, to me, this says this grain silo will import and export. It's a lie. It will not import and export. It will do nothing of the flipping sort. It will, however, laugh at you gaily as your plans become unravelled. Right, fling that in, then hook up a bit of this, a bit of that, from there to there. That's it. Right, and then that'll fill up with grain, so at least we've got plenty of storage there. So I'm now going to need to run my truck. I should have spun it round the other way. which is a valid concern. You know what? I'm just going to build it again. No, I don't. I've yeah, I've reached a point now where I'm just kind of go, fine, okay, do it the other way. I mean, you know, it's my fault. I can't blame anyone else for that. Like that. Hook it up onto the road. Make sure it's still got line of attack on the original farm, and that will probably about, yeah, that's near enough. It's all just money anyway. Right, give me that, give me this, give me that, and do a bit of that. Right, okay, and then we're going to want to, well, I mean, do we want to spin this around? Because if you spin this around now, I'm willing to bet you won't actually be able to get a road out to the road. I don't think it's going to let you do it. In fact, I'd be surprised if it even let you do that. So we're just going to leave it be, and instead we'll change this chap's route. So we'll add the grain silo here, and you are grain storage. You are that. Get it off my dance card. No, wrong button. Get that agro farm off. We'll wait for the truck to leave. The truck has left. There. Okay, right. That will at least speed it up a little and give us a bit more backlog availability. 9.6 tons. Alright. What's wrong with the other 124 tons? Anything? What's the problem? Really, you can just take it. Take it all. Or are we going to wait for this to fill up to max before you take any more? You haven't got a power supply. Well, how have you managed to get the 9 tons you've got now? Yeah, I know. There's a question for you. All right, where's my nearest? Where's the nearest grid? It's over there. You should be in range of that. You've got. You're in range of an electric supply. And as much as you're doing the hokey cokey there, you are now. You've got power, but now you've only got 19 tons. Why? I don't understand. Yeah, all right. Now, I think the voltage doing a little dance for us there indicates that that maybe I'm not kicking enough power in this direction. That's certainly plausible. But yeah, I've got nothing more for you than that. You've got some crops. You're using the crops. You are hanging on to crops here. I'm just going to watch and see what these actually do. See if we get any movement. Yeah, the voltage being erratic definitely suggests to me that that there is inconsistency or insufficient supply going on. While these crops run down, okay, grain storage is now, it just hoovered up a bit more. Why would it do that? Because you've got internal storage in the farm, and that was pre-existing storage in the farm. Building is without power supply. Yeah, power's off. Well, the power should never be off, because I've told the power plant previously to auto supply itself. You got workers. You've got a worker. Well, you've got coal. Why so few workers now? Previously, people were fighting. You've only got one worker in here. Okay, that's an indicator. You've only got one worker as well. And in here, 88. All right, wow, that's more like it. You can't do culture or sport or spirituality or get to hospital, but the ambulance will come to you. And to be honest, we've got a sports field here that for some reason isn't connected to anything, which is odd. I mean, what we're talking about is paths, and paths are kind of, the thing that I like monkeying with more than almost anything else. Let's drag that way, drag this that way, like that. Yeah, continue your journey, and obviously don't stop believing. Right, that should at least let the football pitch gestate. There you go, it's available to gestate now. But nobody lives in here, which is a bit of an issue, but we still somehow managed to get 3 bar staff. Plenty of people want to be bar staff, but nobody wants to go and make electricity. That's a bit of an issue. We've got the coal, and I've even got it auto-purchasing. I'm going to buy some more people. Third world people, Soviet bloc people. Yeah, fill her up. Spend the money, fill it up. Right. Get to ruddy work. Of course, I suspect that I might need people who have some level of education working in the power plant. I believe when you harvest from the Soviet Union, your workers, you end up with a mixed bag of high to low level educated folk. Well, there we go. That's got it going. Right, keep ramping it up. There you go. Pump it up, homeboy. And that'll be all good. Evidently, in a recent patch of the game, they've made it so that if you've got the power plant on auto storage, it will auto supply, I should say. It will also take in coal that is being produced from other places. So that's something. We've got 36 people working our 3% source. Now you may scoff at the 3% source, but that is the 3% source that I would not otherwise have, and would have to be shipping in coal from elsewhere. The conveyor belt's certainly on the go all the time, so it's getting it done, even though it's not getting it done in much volume. Meanwhile on here, 2 passengers. Obviously school hours. And we've got 17 people waiting. Quite a lot of students. And the students all got on board. This is all good. Hopefully they're going to go get an education, because that would be terrific. Right, let's get back down to the farm and see if that's... the tweaking with the power there has actually got it more moving in any way at all. No, you've just clicked on a vehicle there. Right, what have we got? So I think this 102 tons of crops that we've got here is guaranteed to stay in this building until otherwise extracted, and it's only the new stuff being dropped off that's being chucked into the silo. There certainly doesn't seem to be a button that would say fling it all out in the silo. Discard? No, I don't want to discard it. Anyway, the silo's topping itself up, which is good. And you know, because trying it once and it not working is never enough for me, I'm going to try it again, and just see if, just for once, it can behave according to how one thinks it should behave. But no, apparently it isn't. Despite the fact that it has arrows pointing in both directions, apparently silos are only one-way traffic. Cheers then. Or are we waiting until the next lot comes in because it only does it on new stuff coming in? And that if you've already got stuff in there, it's not going to work. Alright, well look, let's activate the go faster button, because we'll have a truck coming into the farm anytime soon, so we can get rid of that and wait and see what happens. I think I saw one coming around the corner. No, that's an ambulance. Okay. All right. Truck, please. Bus. Ambulance. Truck. There we go. Right. You, do your thing. You've unloaded into there. Here goes the grain storage. So we just picked up grain, and it's not outputting it. What a curiously poor system. Anyway, it is the system, so there's no point griping about it, because one cannot buck the system. The good news is that we are building up a reasonable supply of crops in the warehouse now, and presumably that means that the livestock farm is never running dry and helping itself as often as it wishes. Here it is about to run dry, and it's run dry. But it is working without issues. For how long, though? Because that's not moving. There you are, there we go, top up. All right, okay, good. It's topping up as it needs to do so. So that's fine as well. What have we got here? That's the livestock farm. So here, over at Livestock Hall, we're gradually building it up, but just not very quick. And over here, yeah. Also, you will note that the voltage is now stable, which means that the problem with the voltage doing the hokey-cokey is definitely insufficient electricity being generated or being available for use. You're connected, right? You shouldn't need to be telling me twice that you haven't got electricity. You should just... there's a gap in between those two pylons, isn't there? I'm going to just I'm going to replace that and see if that remains the case after doing so. Yes, yeah, you've done it again. Alright, I'm going to assume that that's working just fine. Right, let's try and get this train deployed, and then we'll address the remainder of the food situation next time. Right, train. So we're going to need an electric substation for the train. Railroad electric connection. Yes. I should just be able to overlay it on there, but obviously I can't. I don't need to delete the whole track. Okay, just a little bit of it. Right. Give me the train no, not station. Give me the train electric whatnot. Train diesel, train electricity. Whip this around the other side. Might as well make the road connectable to something. And then I can't exactly see what I'm doing because the tooltip's in the way. Alright, change the angle. Look straight down at it. Beg your pardon for the camera angle. And then line it up more or less like that. That's not straight. Let's go a bit further away and then something like that. That's not straight either. No, neither of those are entirely straight. That one we'll just have to describe as straight enough. Stick that on there. Oh, and evidently that has got a power source. No, it hasn't. It's just telling lies. Right, okay, power line then. What do you need? Do you want high voltage or do you want low voltage, or what kind of voltage are you in the mood for? I'm in the mood for voltage. Yes, again, high, low, medium. I mean, you know, what's your preference? That's a switch, isn't it, rather than a transformer? So we'll run out from the switch. Yeah, keep going this way. I'm going to need to move it around here to get it out of the way of the second warehouse. But I think if nothing else, the second warehouse scheme, if it comes off, should look quite pleasing. Or rather, it should work in quite a pleasing way. And frankly, any excuse to stick a train on. So, you know, it's all good. We'll build a little bit further on the old rail line here. Right, and then we'll stick a depot on the end of it. Railways depot. Thank you. And fine, I'll build out here. Again, the tooltip is in the way of what I'm trying to construct. Just do it about there. Okay. Right, go out from the middle, because, you know, going from the middle line shows a certain level of belligerence that I think is warranted. All right, stick that there, and then fling that on there, and then that's good. Okay, right, now I need another switch for my electricity. This, no, not high voltage. No, it is high voltage. High voltage, not switch, transformer. Actually, I'd probably want a switch as well. And we'll put the switch. Just stop trying to rotate it using transport fever keys. It doesn't like it when you do that. There you go. Go on. Yeah, I'll pay to have it flattened. Just bang it in. We're moving swiftly rather than effectively. Right, switch there. Then I want a transformer. There's the in. Here's the out. Shake it. Whatever you feel like. Can't build due to infrastructure. Let me guess. Go on, go on, go on, go on, go on, go on, go on. Go. Right, hook this to that. Does the transformer itself act as a substation? I don't believe it does. No, it does not. That's okay. We can just stick another substation in. That's not a big hoo-ha. This, that, this, that. Right, now this is actually going to be quite useful. It's going to give some connectivity to several different individuals, and to be honest, we don't need to use the substation for the train line. We can go direct like so, and we can do that, and that's given a bit more power redundancy in the area. Right, let's buy a train. Sure, electric locomotive. Really, only two to choose from. Okay, well, what about a motor wagon? What's the difference? That's a rail bus to you, governor. Train set? No. A tram. Ooh. Cargo. Passenger. Yes. Electric locomotive. Right, 120 tons, and it's 115,000. This one's a little bit faster, and it's a little bit heavier, and it's a little bit more expensive. Cheap is the way we will be going. We next want cargo wagons. Do you take crops? Yes, you do. And we will go with 2 of those. I know, it feels like a waste of time, but later on we'll actually use this for something else. And this, has that got Amtrak livery? No, it's green, not grey. It's quite a pale green. Right, you come here. Now then, here's your mission. I'm hoping you can figure out how to turn yourself around, because that would just shove them up the wrong way. Stop there. Load everything. Stop here. Unload everything. Eventually, this is going to go all the way to the border to kind of do our exports for us. Right, there we go. We're rolling. It's overkill in terms of the loco compared to the number of wagons that it has to haul, and right now we're likely in a situation where there aren't enough crops on board to warrant this. It's also not going to fill very quickly because, well, it hasn't got a dedicated filling thingamajiggle. But given the amount of time it's going to have to wait to get a full load anyway, I'm fine with that. So there we go, that's our first 107 tons. That's not bad at all. Right, there you go. I've been Colonel Failure, and that's been today's adventure. We are now rolling with some train action with U, Control U, and Shift U, Control Shift U, Control Alt U, Control Alt, Shift Alt I U. Turn off the UI. No? Alright, can't be bothered with that. I've been Colonel Failure again. Thanks for watching. In the next episode, we will replace those buildings that we just nuked. And with a bit of luck, we'll be able to start turning a bit of a profit. Subscribe to make sure you catch up with that, if you can bear to do so. And I'll be back later with more. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.